Bitch, my suspicions are suspicioning. Okay, so like most people, hello gorgeous, most people when they go home or when they are armchairs, they're armchairs to like true crime, they're armchairs to like their hobby, and my hobby happens to be what the hell is going on the other side, and how do we make it make sense here. So I am just like I'm always having my spiritual goggles on to experimentalize, you know, and see where is crossing the line for the spirits and not, you know, and like there's official training for it, right? But like when my mentor was like, it's time for you to go off on your own and learn, and I'm like, okay. And you know, anyway, so like I had a suspicion for a really long time that you needed to become the avatar, because that was like one of my childhood dreams. I mean, I'm gonna use that reference, but like basically for you to get into a point of alchemy, to the point where you are able to manipulate energy, right? And so I'm testing my theory, right? I've been testing my theory. It's a life testing theory, bro, because I'm always gonna be experimentally going out and everything. So I always had the sneaky suspicion that water signs and earth signs, and some that were naturally born with it, because not all, right? Also, I'm talking about your rising. I'm not talking about your sun sign. But I will say that your sun sign will give you some sort of a leg up sometimes at some points in the year for you to activate these abilities. So I always had a sneaking suspicion, right, that you needed clairvoyance and clairsentience like hyped up, even if they were dormant inside you, because we all can, you know, get all the clairs. And I'm using the clairs just so that you kind of understand what I'm talking about, because to put the word to the vibration is so freaking difficult sometimes. But anyways, I'm not gonna do that challenge for myself. I'm not gonna map the math right now. But I always had a theory that you needed clairvoyance and clairsentience to be a master, not a master, but like for you to naturally be better at manifesting, or like not so much that you couldn't manifest if you were a claircognizant and a clairaudient, but more so that you needed one or the other to feel the emotions, or feel the vibrations, or see it, just so that it could create. Because this is something that I would see happening in my water and earth sign placements. But I like Aries would be the exemption, because they can inherit 3. The cardinal signs would be exceptions that I've noticed, because they usually end up inheriting 3 when they're born with it, right? This is my theory. I haven't finished testing this theory out, but I noticed a crossover. So I have been using my words, right, which is super important, and manifesting the way that I know how to manifest, the way that I manifest. Like I said that too many times, but the way that I bring things in, right, to my energy. And you need your ability somewhat awakened. But I would notice those around me that my clients, my friends, my family members, that would put themselves in there, tap into it, even if it was just for a moment or just for a little bit. And I'm like noticing things being more concrete, or being more stable, or being more unique since I did the crossover, because I was born with claircognizance and clairaudience. But clairaudience at separate times of the years, one would be stronger than the other. When I was in my childhood, it was clairaudience. When it was in my adulthood, it was my claircognizance. Anyway, I'm testing out the theory, because now that I've been stepping into my femininity and seeing my clairvoyance activate, but my clairsentience has always been there. It's just been very, very, very tiny, but now it is stronger. I am noticing my theory kind of happening. So I'm like pulling my wise woman beard, right? Because I'm like, girl, am I correct in this? Because like this is the things that be going on in my brain when I go home. Like whatever I'm doing, I'm always like experimenting with the magic. I'm always looking for like definitive answers. So yeah, do y'all have a separate theory, or do y'all have a separate, you know, conclusion? And it's not just my pattern, because like I also considered the whole like, you know, well, what if it's just the fact that I'm the one that's thinking this, so then it's manifesting in this way? But I watch other people, or like clients, like as well, and them live their lives and notice the abilities, or notate the abilities that they have when they come get their therapy, whatever the case may be, right? And I'm like, interesting. And so now I'm like, okay, well, to become a master alchemist, which in my brain is like to become the avatar, to literally, truly, honestly become the last airbender, the last avatar, right? This is just my little test, right? I'm like, I'm over here like, do you what's the word? Maybe you need all 4. And then I started thinking, like, Earth, we were brought here like from among a lot of things. Like Earth is for you to understand how you learn your mastery in creation magic, whatever that creation is, right? So yeah. Anyways, what are your thoughts? What are y'all's thoughts on this? As an armchair alchemist, I'm an armchair alchemist. I mean, I'm more than an armchair alchemist, but just like, these are the things that I be thinking, these are the things that I be experimentalizing, because like there's so many aspects and points of life. There's like at home and what you can do from home, but what do you do on the go, and what do you bring with you on the go, and how do you treat those different scenarios, and how do you treat those different situations, and then when you want to go to the grocery store and all this stuff, so that you don't have to be moved anymore. They move for you, or kind of leave you alone, or you cloaked, or whatever the case. And there's so many avenues of magic, like cloaking magic as well, which is something else. And so I'm like, man, there's been so many eureka moments, but like I've been waking up really, really early, and like my brain, and I'm also receiving insane, you know, I'm in the void having a million channels happening at the same time, while I'm also like wanting to accomplish the homework for school. And I feel like all of these activations are happening because of me tapping into and getting a hold of these new abilities while not losing the other ones, my words, because it's very easy. It's very easy for the other ones to become dormant, but you become the avatar when you don't allow them to become dormant, but you find a way to kind of switch them. Because that's something else that I would always think about with Aang. I'd be like, how did this dude go from like, okay, how do I activate? You know, he went from I don't know how to do any of this to like I'm gonna figure it out to like I'm totally down, I did it. Like, and his biggest struggle was Earth, which would have been either no, it would have been one of the clairs. It had to be not one of the clairs. It had to either be clairvoyance or clairsentience, but I feel like it was more clairsentience because it was vibrations. So yeah, and then like I'm like, bruh, because dirt, people really be underestimating dirt, right? And yet this is the thing, the clay, the mold that literally it's a physical, like it is a physical representation of it's literally creation clay. Because everything grows from it, everything's on top of it, and vibrations are always happening. Like we all like started somehow, like metamorphosis with different, you know, chemicals and whatever reactions, whether happened on this planet, right? Like into evolution, but it all gestated from Earth, from like dirt. All these deviations, all these different plant species, all of this, like it is dirt. The thing that we step on every day is creation, energy, incarnate. Anyways, I just wanted to throw that out there, but I gotta go. You know, I wanted to know if there was any armchair alchemists, chaos magicians, you know, that are kind of like having all of these crazy revelations. Am I the only one? And like about the collective as well, and why we're being told these things. But I feel like it's super important to be told these things. But yeah. Anyways, I gotta go. I wanted to share that really quickly. I am gonna hopefully go live, but I did get booked a lot. So yeah. All right. Love you. Bye.